Shrek 2 is a game that was released in 2004 that loosely follows the same story as the film. In Shrek 2, you play as Shrek and his friends fighting enemies, completing challenges, and even solving a few puzzles. The main story of this game is of Shrek and Fiona battling for the acceptance of Fiona's parents, who aren't too happy about their daughter being married to an ogre. I'm speedrunning every game for the GameCube, and this is how quickly you can speedrun Shrek 2 on your very first try. The speedrun for this game is the any percent. All you have to do is complete the main story as quickly as you can. Shrek 2 can be played solo as well as co-op, and in this game you have to work your way through 11 unique levels, controlling a team of 4 characters, all with unique abilities, fighting enemies as well as completing tasks in order to move through each level. The game starts off in Shrek Swamp, and our goal for each level is to either complete a set amount of challenges or get to a certain point in the area. In Shrek Swamp, there's a glitch that can very easily put you towards the end of the level that requires you to grab this snail, take it to the closed gate, and then pick up the snail through the wall, placing Shrek on the other side of the fence. Since all I had to go off of was a video of someone doing it, I struggled a bit. And by struggled a bit, I mean I tried it for a couple minutes, got frustrated, killed the snail, and decided to open the gate the intended way. Luckily for me, in order to actually open the gate, my first task was to kill a whole bunch more snails to collect their eyeballs. After killing the snails, we then head to Lay Hood to fight off Robin Hood and his groupies, and in this game there are a lot of different missions where they're just waves of enemies that we have to fend off, and the main strategy for this is really dependent on which characters we have, but one thing that is extremely useful all throughout the game is animation canceling. When attacking with any character, an animation follows the attack, which has to finish before the next attack can be performed, but by switching characters, the animation for the attack will immediately stop. So by attacking, swapping characters, and then swapping back, you can attack again. So for many of the fights in the game, the best way to deal the quickest amount of damage is to attack and then swap to another character, attack with that character, and then swap back and repeat, allowing you to attack extremely quickly with the 2 characters. Basically, all that we've been doing in the swamp is performing certain tasks helping out the locals, but this last task, all we have to do is round up some chickens and put them in a pot to make some stew. And after adding all of the chicken, we finally get the snail gate open, and with being only 21 minutes in, I'm already about 20 minutes behind, so I'm off to a great start. Eventually we make it to the first donkey door, which is essentially a door that requires us to have donkey, and to kick it to open up a new area. We use the crate behind the donkey door to access the high up level, and open the gate to finish off the swamp. Throughout this game, there are events called Hero Time that we will encounter that are solo missions that utilize a specific aspect of a character, so this first one uses Fiona's singing ability, and all we have to do here is match the notes that the birds are singing. The next level, we are in the spooky forest, and in each level the members of your crew will switch up a bit, so instead of having the gingerbread man, we have Little Red Riding Hood. The entire spooky forest level is an escort mission where we have to guide the 3 blind mice through the forest. In order to guide the blind mice, we have to make sure to fight off all the thugs in order to keep them safe, as well as clearing any mice traps or obstacles in their path. The best strategy for this level is to break up the traps as Little Red Riding Hood, and continue along the route as normal since you can't really speed up the mice at all. There are some obstacles, however, that require you to swap to donkey, like these graves, that you have to donkey kick so that the mice don't fall in the holes. The Hero Time mission for this level is to play as Donkey and his beautiful wife to escape the woods. This mission isn't too hard, and all we have to do is dodge all the obstacles in our way. The next area is far, far away, and for this level we just have to complete a couple of tasks, and when we complete all the tasks we can move to the next level. The first task is to round up all the loose chickens into the pen by hitting them, and in the next task we run around downtown collecting 7 items, while also dealing with mobs that are trying to attack us. This next part is pretty difficult. We are tasked with killing 175 rats that are infesting far, far away, and using the trick of animation canceling we completed it pretty well. But even still, I had to finish off the last few rats with just Fiona after losing all my other characters. The last mission is another escort mission, but this time all I have to do is protect the queen from being attacked by the angry mob throughout the city. The Hero Time for Far, Far Away, we play as Shrek, and have to throw all of these goons into the back of the truck. We then head to the Ogre Killer level, which is a fight against Puss in Boots, and in this fight it's pretty easy. It works the same as the bird singing level as Fiona, all we have to do is press the correct buttons as they fall down, and Puss in Boots is defeated fairly quickly. Before getting into the next level, I'm attempting to be the first person ever to speedrun an entire console. So if you like watching these videos and want to follow along in the 653 game journey, then hit the subscribe button below. The next level is called Walking the Path, and this entire level is mostly traversing through the forest and dealing with obstacles such as this spike trap, as well as multiple waves of enemies like these jack-o'-lanterns. After going through numerous areas that were all about the same, we end up at our first mini-boss. The only way to damage this enemy is to knock back or throw the bombs that it hurls at us, and after hitting it with 3 bombs we finish it off. The Hero Time mission for this level is just a small platforming mission as Puss in Boots, and in the top speedruns there's actually a skip to bypass this entire section, but since it was pretty simple and didn't take too long, I decided to do it the normal way instead. The next level is Jack and Jill's Farm, which was probably my favorite level in the game, as there are many different mini stages that all have their unique style, and really use every character that we are given. The first major mechanic of this level is waking up the cows in order to bust down the cow fences. First we have to attack the cow to wake it up and then hit it in the direction we want it to walk. Once it makes it to the cow pattern gate, it will kick the gate open. Once we make it to the 3 little piggies, we have the 3 mini stages that we have to complete for this level. The first task is an obstacle course where we play as a gingerbread man dodging giant tomatoes rolling down the hill, and this level's pretty easy. All we have to do is run to each safe spot, let the tomatoes roll by, and then run to the following safe spot. The next task, all we have to do is destroy all of the haystacks as well as the rats inside the fence, and the third task is to protect the stalk growing in the ground from all the oncoming rats. Following this, we have to collect some eggs by catching them in our baskets, which completes the level. The next level is Fairy Godmothers. For the first part of this level, we can just bypass each of the enemies, and similar to the animation canceling with attacking, we can animation cancel Donkey's attack, which will thrust him forward a bit, making this move much quicker. The first door can be clipped through to avoid the knights, as well as the following door past the second set of lasers, which already puts us at the hero time stage for the level. This fight is pretty difficult and is the first fight against the Fairy Godmother. In this fight, all we have to do is throw our fruit or whatever it is in Little Red Riding Hood's basket at the Fairy Godmother while also dodging her attacks and the moving crates. We then find ourselves in the potion room, and by using Puss in Boots we can get out of bounds, which will get us to the next checkpoint, spawning us on the other side of the door. The next fight is against Prince Charming, where he turns chickens into knights and then jumps down to attack us, but is pretty easy to defeat by just hitting him from behind. After defeating Prince Charming, the next mission is to run away from the rolling cauldron, and this mission isn't too hard. It doesn't matter if your AI teammates die along the way, so all we have to do is worry about ourselves. The next level is Prison Break, where our goal is to, well, break out of prison. This level consists of us having to navigate around spotlights and guard, trying not to get caught, and there are also some simple puzzles that have us pushing these stone balls around in order to open up some gates. After navigating through the prison, our hero time mission is to climb the tower as the big bad wolf, and this mission took me a few tries as the bombs seem pretty random, and if you get hit just as you are jumping, it will immediately knock you down to the bottom. But eventually I made it to the top and finished off the Prison Break level. The next level is the Mines, which is a pretty tough one. This is the first level where we get to play as human Shrek and horse Donkey, which is the strongest character in the game. In this level, the main foes that we fight off are giant frogs with tridents, who can get a bit overwhelming when there are a ton of them. Other than the waves of enemies, the mines have a couple obstacles that we have to navigate through, such as walking the tightrope as Puss in Boots, and making sure we don't fall in the water as everyone else. The last part of the mines, we have to navigate through multiple platforms, defeating each set of enemies on each one before proceeding to the other. The main strategy for these platforms is when against the frogs, we need to use the wolf to dig into the ground right next to the frogs, launching them off the platform, which is much quicker than trying to kill them off. At the end of the platforms, there's a big golem that we have to kill, and the way to kill the golem is to wait for it to miss its attacks, and then to attack it while it's vulnerable, which will eventually finish it off. The hero time mission for the mines is to chase against the Fairy Godmother, and in this mission we just have to stay close to her and not tied to any of the obstacles. Eventually the Fairy Godmother will get hit by enough obstacles, and we beat the mine level. The last level before the final fight is Cookie Cookie, which takes place back in Far Far Away, only this time the entire city is on fire. The first part of the level we have to put out the fires as well as helping people escape from the burning buildings, and after helping all the people we head to the rooftops to run away from the giant gingerbread. There's a part here where we jump off the roof to get to the chase scene, but can sometimes glitch out where the screen stays black. This happened to me and required me to completely restart the level and to start back at the burning buildings. After redoing the entire first part of this level, we get to the chase scene with the giant gingerbread man. This part is pretty tricky and requires us to fight off waves of knights while also dealing with enemies on the other side of the road. For the first group of catapults on the other side of the road, we throw a cookie over there, making the monster target them, which will destroy all of their catapults. We continue on destroying all of the catapults along our path, and eventually make it to the end. The hero time mission for this level is to protect the giant gingerbread man from the incoming hot air balloons that are trying to douse him with milk. This mission is pretty easy, and all we have to do is keep him alive for 60 seconds in order to complete Cookie Cookie. And that leaves us with the last level, the final fight. The final fight, we face off against multiple waves of the various mini-bosses that we defeated in prior missions, before finally making it to the final fight against the Fairy Godmother. The first wave is of the big fellas throwing bombs at us, where we have to hit the bombs back in order to kill them. We then fight off against Prince Charming once again, who is probably the easiest fight in this level, and then it's on to the Fairy Godmother. In the fight against the Fairy Godmother, we have to dodge her lightning attacks, and then jump to avoid the homing missile, and after dodging enough of her attacks, she becomes vulnerable, allowing us to damage her. After doing this enough times, we finally finish her off, which ends our time. And that's how quickly you can speedrun Shrek 2 on your very first try. With a time of 3 hours, 24 minutes, and 42 seconds, I definitely could have done better, but given the casual playthrough time is roughly 6 hours, it still wasn't a bad attempt.